1, 2, 3. 1. 1, 2, 3. 2. 1, 2, 3. 3. This is what you asked for. 1, 2, 3. 5. 1, 2, 3. 6. And perhaps for Nikki Haley and some others, their political careers are about to be 6 feet deep. Now, I'm going to read to you the results of the Republican primary for president, and you decide where they should go from here. You decide what we should do with this political party. With 65% reporting and Donald Trump not even on the ballot, none of these candidates, I told you you'd be hearing that again, has 61.6% of the vote. That's 34,775. So I guess it's more competitive. And Nikki Haley has 31.9% of the vote. You got beat by none of these candidates. That's incredible. But hey, you got 31.9% of the vote. Who's second most? None of these candidates was second most on the Dem side. Mike Pence has 4.1% with 2,330 votes. Tim Scott 1 point. These guys have already dropped out, but people don't get the memo, I guess. But they're hanging on, hoping against hoping against all odds. So Tim Scott 1.4%, 819 votes. Has he ever got that many votes at any other time in his life? I'm kidding. I know he's senator in South Carolina, but seriously. Um, John Castro, Hirsch Singh, Donald Kjornes, and Heath Fulkerson round out the bottom four: 0.4%, 0.3%, 0.2%, 0.1%, respectively. They ain't even got y'all's pictures, bro, for two of you. What's going on in your life? If media organizations ain't even got your picture, but you're like signing up to run for president, like I just gotta get in your mind for a minute. Now look, I think it's pretty obvious. The Republican Party is going with Trump. This is it's been obvious that this was going to be a rematch since Sleepy Uncle Joe decided that he was going to run again for whatever reason, even with a hilariously low approval rating, like 33%. I mean, get the fuck out of here, pal. What chance do you have of winning except going against Trump? That's the only way you're going to win. And then, of course, senile Trump, this deranged. Look, every time I see this guy now, he gets more orange and sweatier. Okay, so something's going on there, right? He's looking pretty bad. He's losing court cases left and right. They decide he is not immune today in this appeals court. So his efforts to overturn the election with the January 6th coup and the elector schemes and things like that can continue, right? Look, the guy needs to be held accountable. The best way to hold him accountable is to drub his ass in November. But how do you do that, right? Are you going to use Joe Biden? Is that how we drub him? That's what we did in 2020. Moved on him like a bitch, flipped 5 states and beat him by 8 million. But what did you get out of it? What did we get out of it? We even beat the Republicans in 2021 and 2022 and 2023. This is all after 2020, 2019, 18, 17. When Dems also beat Republicans. But what have we got out of it? Not a whole lot, right? Less than nothing. They're coming for us. And the Democratic Party definitely feels entitled to your vote. It's actually quite amazing because the Republican Party has the Libertarian Party and the Constitution Party that take votes from them, right? Compete with them for votes. The Democratic Party has the Communist Party, the DSA, and the Working Families Party that don't compete for votes from them in the presidential election. They encourage people to vote for the Democratic Party over the Republicans. And yet, they spend an incredible amount of time complaining about the Green Party that gets half as many votes as the Libertarian Party. You guys are pathetic, is my point. The Democratic Party is pitiful. We wouldn't be in this situation if you fuckers had your shit together. You have 45% of the vote or so automatically. You just have to make up the rest by not being absolute ghouls. Now, you have not done well in that area by any stretch of the imagination. This shit in Israel, this shit in Ukraine, you clowns ought to get it together. Look, you know what I think of the Republican Party. It needs abolished. The Democratic Party needs to go as well. Take the Democratic Party with you. The real grand old party in the country. So check this out real quick. President Biden's approval rating. This is what Trump will be going up against. $538. We'll go to 5. You can use. I think it's like actually a little higher on Real Clear Politics by like a point or so. 38.8%. The lowest any president's approval rating has ever been that got reelected was George Bush's with 48%. Well, elected in 2004, right? Because look, 2000 was a legitimate stolen election. Okay, we can play this shit all day. You want to talk about stopping the steal? Where were you in 2000? Oh, well, you guys were happy that was happening, that an election was being stolen. So 38.8%. You really expect to win with that? Okay. I guess Trump's just as unpopular, except maybe even a little more. So if that's what you're hoping for, you know they're turning out to vote. We don't know about you goofballs turning out to vote. Okay. Or turning out the vote. So check this out. Real Clear Politics. President job approval 40.2%. Disapproval 55.8%. Idiots. You guys are okay. So check this out. In the general election, Trump leads Biden. This is the aggregate of polls. This is not one poll. 46.7% to 44.6%. In a five-way race, Trump leads 41.6 to 36.8. And you got Kennedy, West, and Stein in there. In the battleground states, Trump is winning in all of them. He's winning in Georgia by 7.2, Wisconsin by 0.2, Arizona by 4.5, Nevada by 7. I mean, talk about a major dereliction of duty by the Democratic Party, even losing in Nevada to Republicans in 2022. In Michigan by 5.1, and Biden's winning in Pennsylvania. This is what you want. This is what Vote Blue no matter who wanted. This is your guy. You wanted this. You wanted Hillary, you got her. You wanted Biden, you got him. Now you got to ride with him. That's what you're riding with? Look, just be prepared for Trump to win. Brace for impact. Be prepared for him to win. And then you're going to have to fight tooth and nail in 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028. And you're going to have to do it all over again. Because you wanted to fuck around. Look, the fact of the matter is, Biden had hundreds of years worth of work to do on his plate, and he never even got to it. He never did anything. None of the shit he did made anyone's life any better. And almost everything he did made people's lives worse. It's just a fact. People's lives are way worse. They're fucking getting worse. Maybe not as bad as it was in 2020 itself, right? Or late 2019. But people's lives are getting worse because things are getting worse and you didn't do anything to address it. You let Trump and the Republicans run roughshod over you guys for 4 fucking years and did nothing about it. And then when you got in power, you didn't do shit with it. You didn't do shit with it. The voters helped you beat Republicans 7 years in a row. 7 years in a row. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023. And really, in 2016, you guys flipped. They helped you flip 5 governors' mansions, as they like to say, 3 Senate seats, 6 seats in the House, and a bunch of freaking trifectas around the country with 3 million more in popular votes. What did you do with all that? With all that energy that was going in your direction? Well, you let Trump win. Okay? And then they ran roughshod all over you. Even though people kept showing out for you and helping you win. What did you do with it? Nothing. Nothing. How can you're fucking asking people to show out again? That's what you're asking. You want them to spend more of their time, energy, and money on a bunch of losers. We don't need losers. We don't want average in politics. You can take fucking average somewhere else. We don't want average. We don't want average in the workplace, living space, learning space, and in our institutions. We don't want it. Take that average shit somewhere else. And by the way, our average is so awful, okay, so horrendous, so horrific, that it should never be acceptable anywhere, in any space. Look, I'm going to leave it at that. The writing's on the wall. The writing is on the wall. It's coming down to Biden and Trump, and it's going to come down to a few states. Trump is going to take back some of those 5 states that Biden flipped, and Biden's going to have to try to hold on to Michigan and Pennsylvania, basically. Just calling it like it is. I'm telling you right fucking now. It's going to take a miracle. Now, I will say this. I predicted Biden would win the 2020 election. By the way, I predicted the 2017. I predicted all those elections correctly. All of them. Up until this year, I was making predictions. Okay. There was a silent Biden voter. You're not going to see it on the polls. You're not going to see, obviously, them with yard signs and bumper stickers and things like that. Just like in 2016, Trump had that advantage. Biden had that advantage in 2020. There was a silent Biden voter, white men, right? Primarily white men. And there was a 5% shift from white men from Trump in 2016 to Biden in 2020. And you're going to see something like that still. There is a silent Biden voter who's just terrified of Trump coming back. They know Biden sucks, but they're just terrified of Trump coming back. And they'll do anything to make sure that doesn't happen. No. That's about all you got going in your favor. That and a rainbow coalition that is eroding quickly. Now, look, once again, I'm going to leave it at that. This is the situation we find ourselves in. We know what we got to do. We need the freaking student unions, tenant unions, labor unions, internationally armed, trained, educated, and organized. That's how we form like Voltron and take the institutions. We don't rely on freaking trouser stains like Joe Biden. We don't. We don't rely on freaking goofballs like Marianne Williamson. No offense. Or spineless fucks like Bernie Sanders, right? Or big barbaric ogres like John Fetterman. We can't rely on. The only thing they can do is beat Republicans from time to time. We can't rely on them to help us, to actually stand in the breach and fight for us. Now, look, you know the deal. Be reasonable, be rational, and above all else, be logical. I'm going to leave it at that, folks.